Hi, this is Linda from Remade with Love, and today I'm going to show you how I've been updating an old piece of furniture, a mid-century modern dresser. Now, I started with this dresser and it was painted this brown or stained this brown color, and in order to update it, it's been really damaged and it's got areas that needed a lot of help, and so I ended up painting it white to brighten it and update it for today's standards. But I didn't want to change too much the feet. And the feet are, with mid-century modern, everybody knows that feet are really important to the look. They can be long and lean, they could be slight and tapered, or they can be these kind of chunky, rounded wedge feet. And what most of them have is the standalone feet and then the brass tip. And you can see that my legs here are pretty damaged, and so I did need to cover those over. But what's important is I'm going to show you today how to update this brass, which is also damaged and scratched up and kind of looking dull, and give it a really nice pop by using size and gold gilding. So I'm going to be gilding the feet of the legs for the mid-century modern piece. I'll show you everything before and after pictures. I'll share with you what I've used in case you want to go ahead and try and create the same type of look. And another thing that's really great is you can use gilding on so many things. You can use it on brass, you can use it on glass, you can use it on wood. I've used it on many different types of furniture. I've used it to make cards with, so I've used it on ornaments. So this will help you learn how to use it and let your imagination go wild and start gilding the other things that you want to update. Okay, now let's take you to how this is going to work. I've got my supplies laid out. I'm going to go ahead and lower this, and I always keep some wipes handy in case I get things on my fingers, they get too sticky. I have the old brass, but you can see that I have updated the leg, and what I did was I painted the base or the main part of the dresser white, but I wanted to make the legs a little bit more neutral instead of bright white, so I did a custom stain paint combination with four parts of the white paint that I used for the dresser and one part of the antique pine gel stain, and I mixed it together, painted it on several coats, sanding in between, and then I added a sealer on top of this. And you can see there's a great difference. And I took the cap off. It's I thought important while I was painting it not to get anything on the cap. And so they're really easily removed. You just pull on them until they come out. There's a little old nail or pin in there in the very bottom. Now, I'm not going to keep this off. I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the foot because I think it's super important to have the bottom covered as well. So I need to go get my hammer. Hold on.
All right, so for the first step, I'm going to use florist foam. I'll put the foot back on, and I grab the foot and the little nail and put it on top and nail that in. Now, you probably want to nail it in off of the florist foam, and you probably want a ball hammer so that the end of the ball can go right inside the cap without denting the foot further. So just go ahead and put it on, and then you're going to want to take painter's tape and tape all around where the painted wood leg meets the brass cap. And because this wooden leg is not all the same width, I'm going to have to use lots of pieces of tape to get as close as I can to the brass without covering it, because I want my gilding and my gold leaf to cover the whole brass cap and have a really sharp look to it. So it takes a little bit of finessing the tape on before you get set up. When gilding, it's important to use gilding size. So, and Gilding Size is a special glue which will adhere the gold leaf to the surface that you want to paint it on. I'll post what I use in the remarks in case you'd like to try this. So once I shake it up to make sure the ingredients are all mixed, I'm going to use a Sable artist's brush to apply the size. I'm going to carefully cover all areas that I'd like the gold leaf to stick to. And in this case, it's the brass foot. So I start on the very bottom and I put a consistent thin layer of size onto this. Now, if you do happen to get thicker layers, it's not going to dry at the same time. It's a little more difficult. So like in the very top of the cap there, if I got a little extra in there, I'd try and use a paper towel and pull that puddle out to try and even out the coverage. Here's my gold leaf. I use Amy Howard gold leaf, and I want to make sure that I wait 5 to 10 minutes until this comes to tack. So coming to tack means it has to set up and dry enough so that it's no longer a liquid, but it's slightly sticky on the surface. You're going to use your ring finger and tap it on the size, and it should not pull away wet, but your skin should feel a slight pull as you try and move it away from the size. For this video, I'm going to speed up the drying process by fanning it and then testing it for tack. Now once I feel that pull, I'm going to expose a half of a page of my gold leaf, and so I'll fold this back and I'm going to roll it around where the cap meets the wood. So where the size is covering the end, I'm going to try and save as much of this gold leaf as possible and try and get it on nice and straight if I can. Doesn't have to be perfect, and you'll see what happens if some of it pulls off. It's okay, but it's really nice if you can get a nice straight on coverage. So I'm going to roll it around and pull half of that page of gold leaf off as it sticks to that size. Now I'm going to go ahead and try and manipulate the gold leaf to cover the end of the cap, and then go back and make sure that I've got gold leaf covering all of the size. You have to use a lot of patience here, and I'm just dabbing carefully with my finger before I take a paper towel, and you can use a paper towel or you could use the papers from the booklet. Sometimes I even take a brayer and roll it on top of the covered gold leaf. This is all going to burnish the gold leaf to the size and make sure that it's a really nice bond that you've got. So after a few minutes of burnishing and drying, I use a Chippy brush. See, it kind of looks messy there. Not really pretty. But I'll use a Chippy brush to further burnish and then to brush away the excess leaf. It looks like I'm very careful here, and in the beginning I am, just because the gold leaf flies around and I don't want to create a big wind until most of the little pieces are off, and then I go to town. This is always magical to me. It can look so messy up until this point, and then magically there's a beautiful, smooth, and gilded piece. Now if you notice holes, you can go ahead and repeat adding size to those small areas, wait for it to come to tack, and add more gold leaf, or completely recover the whole foot in size and double gild. In this case, I just wanted to add a few little dots of size and a few little dots of gold leaf and call it a day. There we are, all set. This is exactly the look I was going for. So I'm going to speed up the video and show you the process again, this time with another leg. There's my ball hammer. I really like using the florist foam for this purpose. I could rotate my leg with the size on it, not worry about the size wiping off if it was rolling around on the counter or having anything else stuck to it while I was waiting for it to come to tack. And then also when I put the gold leaf on, it was a great place to let it dry. That other half of the booklet, that page, perfect size. It's going to fit right around. We'll match it up to where the brass and the wood meet, and around it goes. Here's my burnishing. There you go. And here's the before and after. The one on the left is just brass and afterward. And here's all 4 legs and the whole piece. I hope you'll consider gilding now that you see exactly how to do it and what an effect it can have on your furniture or your crafting. Thanks for watching Remade with Love. Please follow me on Facebook and YouTube.